Hi guys, how are you doing? This is Sebastian from TechCentury and welcome to another unboxing and review here on the channel. Today we're checking out the Govee Flow Pro light bars that are also quite similar to the Govee Flow Plus. So now let's get started opening the box, and first up we'll see of course here this little blue card that we get included with every Govee product. That's just telling us if we have any issues to contact the support and otherwise just share our purchase on social media. Next up we'll have a manual included inside of the box as well. Diving deeper into the box, we'll then see that we actually have two different ways of mounting these lights. Now these are actually meant to be mounted on the back of your TV, for example, and then they attach basically to the middle of the lights. Or here we have these stands where you can put the lights in vertically, so that you can, for example, set them up on your desk or also on your TV board. Moving on, we then get to the power connector, and this one is for Germany because I'm based in Germany. Of course, this will correspond to the country that you're living in. And next up, we'll then actually have this like cable remote that's included inside of the box and also is like the brain of the operation. So at the back, we'll see that we have some 3M tape. On the left side, we'll have a USB-C port as well as USB-A. And then we also have these little foam things inside of the box, and these are actually used for calibrating the camera that's included inside of the box and that we'll see right here. So this camera is used to monitor the content on your display or on your TV to then provide this information to these light bars so that you basically have like the Philips Ambilight for cheap. So here we then see the Flow Pros themselves. Again, also known as the Flow Plus. If you don't want the camera, then you can just purchase the Flow Plus. This is the Flow Pro version with the camera included inside of the box. Here we just see that there's basically just some transparent plastic on one side where the LEDs are behind, and then here on the back we have the mount so that you can mount it to these just mounting brackets that are used to then mount them at the back of your TV. And now this is everything that's included inside of the box, but now let's actually continue with my review. So now after using the Govee Flow Pros, it's time for my review. Now you can already see them behind me, but let's actually first talk about the intended usage as kind of like an Ambilight. So for this purpose you have the camera included inside of the box, and you can mount the camera either at the bottom or the top of your monitor or TV. Now, something that you have to make sure is that your TV is actually compatible with this camera, because on my LG TV I wasn't able to mount it because it has a curvature at the frame, and on my iMac I couldn't mount it because it's actually too slim at the bottom and the top. So you have to make sure that your monitor or also your TV are compatible. The only monitor that I actually had in my house that was compatible was the Dell monitor that you're currently seeing. Now, I also have to say that overall this camera-based solution for creating an Ambilight hasn't really convinced me, because first of all, especially if there's light outside, so during daylight, it doesn't really capture all the colors perfectly from the screen. Now you also have to consider that it really captures the colors at a really steep angle that the camera is mounted to, so maybe there are some discolorations as well from this angle. So it might also depend on the TV that you're using and also on how bright this TV actually gets, so that the camera can really capture the right colors. But overall for me, it just didn't really work that well. It definitely worked better at night, but still not really to the extent that I would have hoped it to. Now that being said, to me that's not really a big issue, because I don't really need the camera, and if you don't need it either, you can also just purchase the Govee Flow Plus, because they are basically the same lights, just without the camera included inside of the box, and of course they are cheaper as well. Now one thing that I have to point out about the Govee Flow Pros is that if you don't connect the camera, you can't use the Wi-Fi functionality, which just to me doesn't make sense, and I wish that Govee would change that in the future with an update. But now let's talk more about these lights, and you can see them right here behind me. And I think they also make for like a really nice video background, and I've actually also used them for a thumbnail shoot as well. But now enough about that, let's actually dive into the app and its functionality. So I have the Govee Flow Pro here, of course they show up straight away. Now I don't have the camera mounted currently, but I still have it connected and just under my desk so that the Wi-Fi works. So we can just tap on it and then connect using Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And we can already see right here that we have the Flow Pros connected and also just the light that they currently reproduce. We have a brightness of 5%, so you can also go way up to 100%, which then is way brighter, but for this frame actually too bright because it just overexposes everything, so I'll go back down to like 5 or 7%, and then you can see that we can choose, of course, to turn the lights off, then they turn off, and then turn them on again. Of course, you can also automate that, for example, with Google Assistant, and then we can also choose between different scenes. So we have a reading scene that looks like this, we have a movie scene that looks like this, candlelight, romantic, aurora, breathe, energetic, snowflake, seasonal, bloom, crossing, and last but not least, probably my favorite, rainbow. So here you can just see all the effects that are included like straight out of the box, but you can also DIY yourself some other effects if you would like to. Of course, you can also just specify specific colors, and you actually have 6 zones per light that you can customize. So here in this case, I have most of them in blue, some of them in yellow and then green, and that will look like this. Or you could also, of course, just go to the Ambilight section, I would call it, and then choose either using full screen or split screen. Of course, this doesn't work currently because I don't have the camera mounted to my monitor, but you have seen this previously in this video with the monitor when I was gaming. And then of course you can also sync it to the music and then choose whether it should use the integrated microphone or the microphone on your smartphone. So let's get back to scene and rainbow. And overall I have to say that I was really impressed with the Govee Flow Pros. Now if I work here late at night, I actually just turn them around to then illuminate the curtain behind me, and that just is a really nice and comfortable light to work with. Also because you can of course also choose white light if you prefer to do so. And overall I think it's just a really nice light to work also on your desk or also to put on your TV board if you prefer that. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below and let me know what you think of the Govee Flow Pros or also Flow Plus in the comments down below. And of course, you'll always find the links to these lights in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I really hope to see you next time.